All right, let's get right into it. If you're looking to trade anything beyond Bitcoin, you know that the market can feel like the Wild West. Well, today we're going to draw you a map. We are going to break down how to find the absolute best altcoin exchange for your specific needs.
And this is the big question, right? I mean, Bitcoin gets all the headlines, but the real action, the high growth potential that so many people are looking for, it's often buried in this massive universe of other coins. So where do you even begin?
Okay, so first things first, let's make sure we're on the same page. What even is an altcoin? It's simple, really. It's any cryptocurrency that isn't Bitcoin. Think of it as everything else, from really promising new technologies to those super speculative gems. And to trade them well, you can't just use any old platform. You need an exchange that's built for variety, speed, and depth.
To make sense of this world, you really need a system, a framework. So we're going to build one right now. I like to call these the 3 pillars of a great altcoin exchange. If you can get these right, you are already way ahead of the curve.
So these are the big 3: liquidity, fees, and security. Now, I know they might sound a bit technical, a little dry, but trust me, they are the absolute bedrock of successful trading. So let's break down what each one actually means for you and your money.
First up is liquidity. Imagine trying to sell your house, but there's only one person in town who's buying. You're probably not going to get a great price, right? It's exactly the same in crypto. High liquidity just means there are tons of buyers and sellers ready to go. So you can get in and out of your trades at the price you want without something called slippage eating away at your gains. Slippage is that frustrating moment when the price you click isn't the price you get, and it can cost you. The bottom line is high volume is your best friend.
Next up, let's talk about fees. They seem so small, right? But they are silent portfolio killers. Seriously, a tiny fraction of a percent on every single trade adds up like crazy, and it can absolutely destroy your returns over time. The smart platforms, the good ones, will offer you ways to lower these costs, maybe by giving you discounts for trading more or letting you use their own crypto token to pay for fees.
And that brings us to what is arguably the most important pillar: security. This one is completely non-negotiable. Your money has to be safe, period. You want to look for platforms that are regulated, that do regular audits to prove they actually have your assets, and that offer some kind of insurance. Binance's SOFU fund, which stands for Secure Asset Fund for Users, is a perfect example of an exchange creating a safety net just in case the worst happens.
All right, so theory is great, but now that we have our checklist, let's put it to the test. We're going to apply our 3 pillars to some of the biggest names in the altcoin game right now.
So here's a quick overview. You've got MEXC, which gets high marks for one big reason: it's almost always the first to list brand new, undiscovered tokens. And that's a huge deal for traders hunting for the next big thing. Then there's Bybit, which is really the pro's choice. It's for people who need sophisticated tools and a top-tier interface for derivatives. And of course, there's Binance, the global giant, known for having insane amounts of liquidity on pretty much any asset you can think of. As you can see, each one has its own special flavor for a different kind of trader.
Now this is where it gets really interesting, because you're faced with a strategic choice. On one side, you have MEXC. Think of it as the treasure hunters platform. It's where you go to find those gems before anyone else does, and hey, they often have 0 fees on spot trades. The trade-off? That speed can be risky. The interface can be a bit much for new users, and you're definitely taking on more risk with newer, less proven projects. On the other side, you've got Binance. It's the industry standard: rock-solid security, unmatched liquidity. The potential downside? Well, they're much slower to list new coins, and depending on where you live, signing up can be a pretty complex process.
Okay, so let's talk about Bybit, because it carves out its own special niche. This is the platform for the serious professional trader. Its user interface for derivatives, those are the more complex trading tools, is considered absolutely elite. Their mobile app is also fantastic. So Bybit isn't really just for buying and holding. It's designed for active traders who need precision tools, which really sets it apart from the more general-purpose exchanges.
Okay, so you've picked an exchange. Now what? How do you actually, buy something? There are really 2 main ways to do it, and understanding the difference here is super important for getting the results you want.
And this really shows the 2 different philosophies. The traditional order book is all about control. You get to set your exact buy or sell price using what's called a limit order. It does require a little more know-how, but the instant swap, that's all about speed and simplicity. Think of it as the one-click easy button. It's perfect for beginners or for those times when you're on your phone and need to act fast in a crazy market. So why would you pick the swap feature? Well, it's all about removing the hassle. You don't have to be an expert on all the different order types. You get your confirmation in seconds, and the whole process is just super efficient. It is hands down the fastest way to get in or out of a position, which, let me tell you, can be an absolute lifesaver when the market is going wild.
So, after all of this, what's the single best altcoin exchange out there? Well, the truth is, there isn't one. The best platform is the one that lines up perfectly with your goals, your strategy, and your level of experience. It's totally personal.
And I think this quote just nails it perfectly. Finding the best altcoin exchange is a journey that requires constant learning and adaptation. Your success depends on discipline, risk management, and the tools you utilize. It's so true. This isn't a one-and-done decision. The market is always changing, and you've got to be willing to change with it.
And that's really the question I want to leave you with today. Your answer is what's going to guide your choice. Are you a treasure hunter, scouring MEXC for that next 100x gem? Or are you more of an architect, patiently building a secure portfolio on Binance? Know who you are as a trader, and you'll know exactly where you belong. Thanks for tuning in.